everybody, this is the Wikstrand. So, with a few little tweaks here and there and a small bit of a rewrite and a bit of a restructuring, they could have made this movie into a modern classic. It is not a modern classic, but it's a very, very good movie, and pockets of it is absolutely brilliant. What it is about, that's what we're gonna find out today. This is my review of Blindness. One day in an anonymous city, a man goes blind out of the blue. The man who helps him also goes blind. The doctor they go to see also go blind. And all of a sudden, people all across this town all goes blind. Is this some kind of an epidemic? Is it some kind of a virus? Is it some kind of a, chemical attack from some unfriendly country or something like that? We don't know. And all of these people are getting bungled into this prison-like structure, to try to contain the spread of whatever this is. And after that, the fabric of society starts to crack. I'm not going to tell you anything that happens after this because I don't want to spoil this. This is a great stipulation or setup for a movie. I think it is absolutely breathtaking. What a great and compelling concept this is. But among all of these blind people, there is one exception. We have this eye surgeon played by Mark Ruffalo. His wife, played by Julianne Moore. She can see, but she claims to be blind, so she will be incarcerated together with her husband. And I'm not going to spoil what happens after this, but I will say this, that what happens after this is probably one of the bleakest and most depressing view of humanity I have ever seen. Humanity has never looked worse than they did in this movie. And I think that there is a lot of great things to be had in this movie. This movie offers up a lot of fantastic sequences, and individual performances are fantastic. The setup is great, and there are moments and sequences and scenes in this movie that is breathtaking and goddamn amazing. This movie, however, has a couple of problems that prevents it from getting higher up the rating scale. Now, I'm going to have to bring in the movie Red Dawn to state my case a little bit, because you might think to yourself, what the hell does Red Dawn have to do with Blindness? Go Wolverines! The thing is that one thing I did not like about Red Dawn was the fact that we had no information what was going on outside of our bubble. We didn't get to, hear what was going on, on other places, and we were just, crammed there in our bubble. The same thing happens to this movie. I thought that it was a choice, and it was on paper a good idea to have the movie focus on this small group in this incarceration thing. But it also meant that the movie could have been much more interesting, and it could have, given us a whole new level of understanding what was happening outside of these walls, and not doing that damaged this movie. This movie also had another bigger problem. The bigger problem was how this movie was structured. You see, this movie is essentially three different movies that has very little to do with one another. They're stitched together because of that, characters from each segment is in it, but they don't have a lot in common. And I thought that if they could have made a transition from each of these, segments into one more coherent story, it would have been better. But nevertheless, it is a movie I really recommend people to see. It is a very compelling story with very good performances, especially from Moore and Ruffalo. And as I said, it takes a little time getting used to the style that this movie has. It has this very naturalistic look to itself, who for some people might look a little bit shabby or a little bit bush league, but in my opinion it actually benefits the movie because it gives the movie a very unique style and identity. Furthermore, you don't quite know where this one is going. You don't quite know where we're going to end up or how this is going to end. It could go either way in my opinion, but it is a movie that is really good, with a really compelling story, compelling characters, a unique look to itself, and as I said, individual sequences that is amazing. But the whole thing, I cannot quite put my finger on where exactly improvements should be had. But this is a movie that is on the brink of becoming fantastic, but wasn't quite able to take that leap. But it is a movie I will recommend, and maybe you will like it better than I did, but I thought it was a very good movie that could have been a fantastic movie. I love the fact that they use music very sparsely in this movie. It gives the movie more of a realistic feel to itself. Blindness is a very good movie that you will not forget anytime soon. I give this movie 67 points. I think that the performances are very good and the setup is excellent. The execution isn't quite as great and the structure of the movie is not quite as good as it could have been, but for the most part, this is a movie I do recommend, with a bit of an asterisk. So have you seen Blindness? What did you think about it? Comment below and I'll see you next time from, well, so-and-so reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much.